Alrighty, so today I'm going to show you guys a quick fun tutorial on how to do this awesome dispersion effect where we take a photograph of something and then we throw it on a background and we add some of this cool dispersion effect. So we'll go ahead and I'll show you how to do this. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go to pexels.com. We're going to find a person in action or something moving, somebody dancing. So let's go person dancing. We want somebody in motion doing something kind of crazy, kind of fun. So like, let's take Elvis here. Let's do Elvis. All right. So I'm going to go to free download. And you guys would have to save this to your Google Drive and then put it into the app stream through there. I'm just going to drag it right to Photoshop. Boom. Okay. The next thing that I'm going to want to get is I want to get a textured kind of background. So like he's dancing. So like maybe we put him. We could even do a white background. Let's just do white. We'll do white. You can choose the background that you want. Doesn't matter. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to unlock this layer over here on the right. Then I'm going to select him and get him alone. So I'm going to go to select subject. It's got a pretty good selection there. Got his legs, got his toes, got his feet. Only thing we're missing is his ankles down here. See if I can get his ankle. Perfect. There we go. Looks good all the way around. So I'm going to hit Command C, Command V, and get him alone. The next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go in and liquefy this layer. So I'm going to first duplicate it. So to duplicate a layer, we're going to right click on the layer. Go to duplicate layer. I'm going to title this layer liquefy. So what we can do too, which is kind of cool, is we can liquefy this, which means we can actually move it around and kind of make it look kind of crazy. So what we're going to do, let's go up to the top. We're going to find the word filter. And then from filter, we're going to go down to where you see liquefy. When you go to liquefy, it's going to bring up a menu. So what liquefy does is lets us pull pixels around and move things and do some kind of cool things. So if I go to forward warp tool, I can make this bigger or smaller. So I'm going to take this, and if I take it, I can pull this. And we want to just we want to liquefy the outside edges of things. Make it a little smaller. So you take this and you pull this. I'm going to go all the way around. And you want it to travel pretty far because this is going to be the stuff that creates the dispersion. So the farther we can get this to travel, the better it's going to be. Go all the way around, down through. Again, we're not going to damage the photo too much because we're going to have that second copy that we're going to use, but definitely want to have some good traveled stuff here for that dispersion effect. So I'm going to keep traveling, keep pushing, keep pulling. Really just kind of like mashing this up. Now what's cool is this photo's in black and white, but if you found a photo that would be in color, you'd get some really cool colors and really cool stuff here that could be kind of sweet. So there we go. So that looks good. So I'm going to click OK. So I have a liquefy layer and then I have my normal layer. Kind of like so. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take, I'm going to hide my layer 1, and I'm going to add a layer mask, or I'm going to hide liquefy, and I'm going to make layer 1 visible. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a black layer mask to this. Oop. I'm going to add a normal layer mask to layer 1. And then I'm going to go up and I'm going to get a paintbrush. So I'm going to get a normal brush here. And we're going to get a splatter brush. Now what's cool is in Photoshop we can get different types of brushes. So if you go up to the top where you got there's a 20, a little arrow, you can scroll down and you can find these basically special effects brushes. We got splatter, concepts, screen tone. So I'm going to go to Kyle's Supreme Spatter. So this one. Boom. I'm going to scroll over. And you'll see I got black paint. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of spatter up some of this. I'm not going to go too crazy with it. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate this layer, my liquify layer. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my liquify layer I'm going to add a layer mask. And that adds a white one. If you hit Control I, it's going to invert it and make it black. So now what I can do, I'm going to touch this up with some white and bring some of Elvis back here. Kind of in his body. Just kind of like so. Just kind of want to get the edges a little bit, so that looks pretty good. Get his hair, get his face. There we go. I'm going to go to the black liquify layer, and with white paint, watch this, I'm going to start bringing in some of this liquify around Elvis. And what that's doing is that's painting in that liquify splatter areas that we just did. It's bringing that back a little bit. So what it's doing, as you can see, it's bringing that information back into the frame. So there we go. That looks pretty good. I'm kind of liking that, the way that's looking with the splatter. One thing I'm going to add is I'm going to add let's see what kind of different color backgrounds look good here. So I'm going to go to the layers adjustments, the cookie. I'm going to go to solid color. Let's try black. Let's see what black looks like. Drag that to the bottom. Nah, the black looks kind of weird. Let's change it to white. Yeah, the white looks really cool. So that looks awesome. Very cool stuff here. What I could do is, if there's some spots that I don't like, obviously if you paint white on the black mask, it brings it back. If you paint black on the black mask, it's going to hide it. So I want to hide some of this area in here. It's awesome. So now the one thing I want to do is you can even add some color to this with the splatter brush. So I'm going to add a new layer. Let's add some of this cool red. So I can go in and add some awesome coloring to this. I'll drag that below. And then one thing I want to do is I want to adjust the kind of the contrast and vibrance of Elvis himself. Now if you go to layer 1, you got the white mask and then you got the actual Elvis. So one thing I want to do is I'm going to go to image, adjustments. Let's go to hue and saturation. I'm going to saturate Elvis a little bit more. Look, we can even bring back the color of Elvis a little bit. Isn't that kind of crazy? And bring that back. So I'm going to go to like there. I'm going to go to image, adjustments, contrasts. Bring in some of that contrast, make him stand out a little bit more. And then, like I said, if there's some areas that you've hidden, you can go back in and kind of bring those back by painting white back on that layer. So I'm going to brush in some of his arm, some of his arm up here. There we go. I'm going to even take some of his legs out. Maybe I'll make this a little bit smaller. So there we go. So that's the way you would do the dispersion effect. So really quick, awesome tutorial that gives you some awesome effects. You could do so many cool things with this. This could be like if you've seen some of the iTunes album covers or like the iTunes commercials. This is some of the stuff that those artists do. A really interesting way to create an awesome effect and kind of just alter a photo using layer masks. So have some fun with this, and we'll see what you come up with.